Hi Yvette, and welcome to Samantha's booktube-ish video talking about Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I know you're going to be super impressed with the amount of dedication that went into this video. I have actually made a background a la booktube-ish. You'll notice I have books back there and a little pop figurine. Bonus points if you know who that is. Should I tell her? Should I just spoil it? It's Gustavo from Breaking Bad. And the reason why it's Gustavo is that was the only pop vinyl figurine we had in the apartment, which was a gift for Ivan because Gustavo is like one of his favorite characters. So let's talk about Darrow. I love Darrow. And in the beginning of the book, we're getting introduced to his world. And he's a miner, mining for helium. No, I don't know exactly what the gas is, but they're mining for a gas to terraform Mars to make it habitable for humans because Earth was no longer habitable or going that way. So they needed a backup plan for humans to be able to live. And the world they live in, they really sell it as the miners are kind of like pioneers, very brave. They're sacrificing for the good of humankind. That's the story that they give these miners. And Darrow is not only just a normal everyday miner, he's a hell diver. And a hell diver are pretty much, from what I've picked up reading, are the bravest, quickest, best miners. They do the scariest job and most dangerous job. And Darrow's very good at this job. He doesn't have a lot of thoughts, not that he's not smart. He doesn't have the anxiety that would hold him back, that might hold other people back. He goes for it. There's a scene where he's really trying to win the competition for who can mine the most gas that month, the Laurel. And they're very close. And he's like, I'm going to go for it. If we stop now, because there might be a gas pocket, there might be an explosion, and I might die, we're going to lose again. And it's very important to win because they win extra food, and these people are starving. They give them the smallest rations to keep them going. And they give another one of the minor tribes more rations because they win the Laurel each time. So Darrow risks his life, he wins the Laurel, and then when it comes down to them announcing the Laurel, Lycos still does not win. Because it's rigged. And it's meant to be set up to keep them separated, keep them hating Gamma. Basically, the other tribes are sort of designed or manipulated to hate Gamma because they always win the Laurel, they get more food, they get more medicine, they have what everyone wants. Everyone wants their needs to be taken care of, right? They don't want to have to go and prostitute themselves to get medicine to take care of their loved ones. Nobody wants that. But that's the reality of their world. So I think Darrow is really disheartened when he figures out that the Laurel is rigged. And even when he does his best and risks his life to actually win, they won't actually allow Lycos to win. Okay, so basically, once we're introduced to the world, we realize that they live in kind of a more primitive existence. At least the Reds do. More old school. Darrow's 16 years old. He has a wife, which most 16-year-olds aren't married. But in this society, they don't live terribly long. They get married young. And he has a wife, Io, and she has a lot of ideas and a lot of dreams. Where Darrow, when the book opens, it doesn't bother him as much to be looked down upon. The Greys that are in charge of the Reds sometimes let the power go to their head, which in the grand scheme of things, the Greys are not very high at all. So I guess you can sort of see why they would be kicking what's below them when you find out more about the world and the levels and the colors. But there's a there's a part in the book where one of the Greys that's particularly mean and sadistic is demanding that Darrow bow to him. And Darrow just bows. And he explains he doesn't really have any hesitation to do so. It doesn't bother him. It's also important to hydrate. So you should have your water and drink that because that's important. And it's also important to be seen drinking things on BookTube. So I have my water from a pickle jar, which happens to be my favorite drinking glass. And my straw is from IKEA, just like my chair is from IKEA, and my table is from IKEA. So Io has a lot of ideas about the world, how it is, and how it needs to change. Whereas Darrow, in the beginning of the book, in the beginning of the series, he's happy to have his wife, to have love. He'd like to have a family. He's happy with the basics. Family, love. He has his work as a hell diver. And that changes, obviously, when Io is put to death for singing a song. Did you stop it?
Mm.
Well, you don't give me any symbol that you're actually filming there, Ivan. So, anywho, once Io has left this world, which was obviously very, very sad, that changes Darrow. Because Io was essentially the center of his universe. And basically he's like, fuck it, man. I don't care. I'm not going to leave her up there to rot. They can kill me too. I'm cutting her down. But thanks to Uncle Nero, they don't kill him. He is saved by the Sons of Ares. And his new life begins. And that's basically infiltrating society, the top echelon, the golds, the iron golds, and making change from within. So, Darrow essentially wakes up after expecting to be dead, and obviously finds out that he has been rescued by the Sons of Ares, and he starts learning more about society, and I think one of the most moving scenes of the book is when Dancer takes him to the surface. And when I'm reading it, I was thinking, well, what are they doing? They're just going to go up to the surface being Reds. They're going to know, like, they're going to kill them because they're going to obviously know, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be down there mining some gas. But obviously I didn't really realize there were high Reds and low Reds, and there would be Reds on the surface. But that moment where Darrow sees that Mars is habitable, there are huge buildings, like it's a giant city, and just the devastation that he feels, it was so moving. Like, that's his world crashing down. Here he's been living like a mole in the ground, thinking that he's a pioneer trying to save humanity, mining this gas, and everybody's up on the surface playing around and having a good time. So I think he starts to realize more of the dream that he's heard people speak about and Io speak about. It becomes more of his own when he realizes how deceived he has been, and the fact that he no longer has Io, the love of his life, and that's going to be a real driving force for him. Yvette, I have technological problems. We are struggling. I have low storage on my phone. I'm going to try to edit it on my phone and send it through. I talk way too much. It's a problem. I liked the book. We have got to start doing some sort of Skype chat or Google chat so we can actually talk about the books, because I'm dying here. I can't actually put together the video with all my thoughts. There's too many of them. I'm going to have to wrap this up because I have to eventually stop talking sometime, right? I just want to let you know, it's not only just a fourth book. It's a new trilogy. So there are going to be 3 new books, which is something that I'm certainly excited for. But I know something you're excited for is Ivan's review, because he read 17 pages and I promised you a humdinger. So come on, Ivan, you need to come on down and give your review.
Okay, so Samantha wanted my opinion of Red Rising. I don't often read fiction books because I like to be educated and I like to learn things when I read. I also think that fiction books are a huge gamble because you don't know what you're going to get. So I tried to read 17 pages of Red Rising, and just based on my opinion on that, the author kind of just launched into a story, didn't explain where we were. He explained that something was being mined. He didn't explain what was being mined. He didn't explain who was mining it. He didn't explain why they were mining it. So I thought that was a bit poor form.
That's not even right.
He could have explained it, to someone that doesn't read fiction a lot. He could have explained what was happening in a bit greater detail. But maybe someday I'll attempt it again after all the hype that I've seen from you and Samantha. So that's my view. Thank you.